Last Thursday, the San Francisco 49ers started second-year quarterback Nick Mullens. Mullens was relatively unknown coming out of college. He played at Southern Miss, and the San Francisco 49ers were the only team to contact him, and they signed him as an undrafted free agent. The best look most people got of Mullens in the preseason was against the Dallas Cowboys on a nationally televised game on the NFL Network. In the last 2 minutes of the game, Mullens led the 49ers down for a game-winning touchdown. Now, while this drive was impressive, playing against third and fourth stringers in the preseason is hardly an indication of how you'll do in a regular season game against first stringers. Nevertheless, San Francisco felt comfortable turning to him when injury sidelined both Jimmy Garoppolo and C.J. Beathard. And they came out throwing on the first play of the game. The Raiders started with two deep safeties. They had man-to-man coverage on the receivers underneath. This linebacker here will be responsible for covering the tight end. If the tight end stays in to help with pass protection, he can blitz. But he runs an intermediate route, while the flankers up top and bottom run deep routes. This means that Goodwin, up top, will be one-on-one with his man, because the safety will follow the deep route. Mullens recognizes this pre-snap and gets the ball to him quickly. Let's watch. It's only about a 5-yard pass, but he has the angle to get the first down. Let's take a look at it from this angle. Quick decision, short pass, first down, great start for a young quarterback. Okay, this is later in the same drive. San Francisco is going to send the receiver up top and the receiver on the bottom deep. The slot receiver will run slant, and Kittle will run into the middle of the field. Juszczyk will run out into the flat. The Raiders will use man-to-man coverage on the flankers and the slot receiver. The middle linebacker and the safety will double-team George Kittle, while the outside linebacker will be responsible for Juszczyk. But the Raiders have a surprise for the young quarterback. The linebacker isn't going to defend Juszczyk. He's going to blitz the quarterback instead and appears to have a free shot. Mullens is looking down at Kittle. However, look how quickly he resets his feet, resets where he's looking, and gets the ball to Juszczyk instead. Even though the linebacker is beaten McGlinchey on the outside, he's too late. Mullens delivers the ball, and it's a 6-yard gain for the 49ers. Let's go back to the snap. Okay, so we noticed right away that McGlinchey is double-teaming the down lineman with the guard. He isn't expecting the linebacker to blitz here, and by the time he realizes it, he's a little out of position. Mullens is looking into the middle of the field, watching the safeties to see what they're doing and looking where Kittle is going to be. We can see that the linebacker has gotten around McGlinchey, and Mullens is still staring directly at Kittle. However, look how quickly he resets his feet and moves on to the next receiver. His eyes are already on him, and before his feet even hit the ground, he's already started his throwing motion. This is a very quick process. Ball is accurately delivered, and it's a 6-yard gain. Okay, let's move on to the next play, and you'll notice right away that the Raiders are not ready on defense. San Francisco does not have to wait for them, and they call a running play. Juszczyk will block for Breida. It's 3rd and 2, so this is a perfect play to get 2 yards. The Raiders get in position, and they react strongly to the run. There's just one problem. This isn't a running play. All the Raiders bite on the fake, while Juszczyk and Garcon run pass patterns. Now the play is designed for Juszczyk, and if you look at him underneath, he is open. He will get the 2 yards and the first down if he wants it, but Mullens sees that Garcon has gotten behind the defense. Garcon sticks his hand up in the air because he's wide open. Mullens delivers the ball. It's a touchdown, and it's the first touchdown ever of Nick Mullens' career. Okay, let's take a look at this next play. This is the next drive. The 49ers have Marquise Goodwin in the slot. They send Richie James next to him in motion. James will run a slant, and Goodwin will run deep. Pierre Garcon is up top, one-on-one with his defender, and look at the space that he gives Garcon, probably because he knows the safety is far away and won't be able to help out. Mullens sees this right away. Garcon just runs to the sticks and turns around, and you can see he's just barely in his break, and Mullens has already started his throwing motion. The defender recognizes this too, but he's too far away from the play. All he can do is just run up and make the tackle. First down, San Francisco. On this next play, which is later in the same drive, we see an interesting moment for the Raiders before the snap. At the bottom of the screen, notice the defender turning around with his hand out as if he's asking what the play is. There seems to be some confusion, and both defensive backs get it wrong here, as they both get caught looking in the backfield at the handoff. The interesting thing is the San Francisco wide receivers aren't even faking like they're going to run block. Garcon's going to run a square in, and Richie James is just going to run deep. Mullens sets his feet, and he sees he has both of them wide open. The safeties are doing their job to make sure they don't get beat for a touchdown. Mullens takes the easier throw to Garcon, and it's a huge gain for the 49ers. Here we have another play action pass. San Francisco has brought 3 tight ends into the formation and 1 receiver down below. Notice the linebackers in the middle of the field for the Raiders. They'll be important later. San Francisco fakes the handoff, and the linebackers realize right away that they've stepped up, but it's not a run. Both the tight ends are flaring out, and so the linebackers feel they have to get back into position to defend the pass and run backwards. After Mullens carries out the fake, we see that 2 of the offensive linemen for San Francisco, as well as the 3rd tight end, have been beaten by the defensive linemen for the Raiders. 2 of them look like they have a clean shot at Mullens. But this was the plan all along. The 3rd tight end is George Kittle. This is a screen pass designed to get him the football with blockers in front of him. And the linebackers are out of position to make a play. Mullens throws a great sidearm pass, gets Kittle the football, and Kittle takes it down, 1st and goal. Garoppolo has gotten a lot of recognition as someone who can throw from different platforms. But we're going to pause it here because I want you to notice that with a defender in his face, Mullens sidearms the ball around him to get the ball to Kittle. That is a great throw. Okay, it's the same drive, but it's the start of the 2nd quarter now, so the teams have switched sides of the field. Here, Mullens sees that the tight end, Ross Dwelley, has a lot of space. The linebacker in the middle of the field is going to be held by a run fake, meaning if Dwelley can get open to the inside, he should have an easy catch. Mullens fakes the handoff and delivers the football. Let's take another look from this angle. That is a lightning quick throw. Okay, it's 3rd and goal now, And at the start of the play, we again see the Raiders communicating on defense, possibly concerned about the trips formation San Francisco has off to the left. The 49ers actually motion out of this formation, although they still have a running back split off to the left on that side of the field. The Raiders are very concerned with this. The play starts, and indeed the running back does run out into the flat. This occupies the linebacker, along with something else we'll look at later. The defender on Bourne is playing an outside technique, probably to prevent this pass pattern. So Bourne just gives him a move to the inside, and with the linebacker occupied in the middle of the field, Mullens will be able to throw it into the empty space for a touchdown. Now, what was that other thing I talked about that occupied the linebacker? Well, let's take a look. Right at the start, Mullens just for a split second looks off in that direction. By the time he comes back to Bourne, it's already too late. The linebacker and the safety have switched directions, and as soon as they move, Mullens just guns it in there. A great look off, makes for an easy throw and catch. Touchdown, San Francisco. Let's move ahead to just about a minute to go before halftime. It's 3rd and 6, and the 49ers want to call a relatively safe play to try to pick up the first down. If not, they'll just punt and go into halftime with the lead. These are the patterns that the receivers are going to be running. But the Raiders are tired of Mullens sitting back there and throwing it all over. So they blitz not only the linebacker, but also the corner as well. The safety will pick up the slot receiver, and the other safety will defend the deep outside part of the field like this. This leaves Richie James one-on-one with his man, and he makes a move to get on the inside for a slant. With no safeties in the middle of the field, he is off to the races. Let's go back to the snap, because I want to show you something about Nick Mullens' release. It is so fast. Here we see the down lineman sticks his hand up to try to block the pass, but the ball is already halfway to the target by now. We'll take another look at this in slow motion, just so you can get an idea of how quick this release truly is. See, there goes the hand up, but it's already too late. Okay, now the 49ers are in position to go for a touchdown just before the half. Let's take a look at their approach. The Raiders have decided to send an all-out blitz. They're going to rush 7 defenders at the quarterback. This means there's no safety in the middle of the field whatsoever. Mullens knows that if Richie James can beat his man to the inside, it should be a walk-in touchdown. All he has to do is put the ball on him, which he does. But Richie James drops the football. Okay, so now we're at the start of the third quarter, and we've reached what turns out to be the play of the game, without question. San Francisco is going to send the flanker up top deep. Pierre Garçon will run a few yards and then sit up. The flanker on the bottom will run deep as well. Now, I think Richie James is supposed to run a post corner here. This should occupy the defensive back, the middle linebacker, and the safety, in theory. This should leave George Kittle one-on-one against the defensive back in position to make a catch for a first down. Remember, it's 2nd and 12 here. But instead, James runs the play to the inside, meaning all 4 of these defenders, as well as Richie James, as well as George Kittle, are going to be in the same place at the same time. It's going to be very crowded in the middle of the field and a very small window for Mullens to make a throw. Okay, the play starts and Mullens sees that Kittle is open. He can make the throw here, but the linebacker is going to be in position to make a play on the football. He does jump up, but Mullens, anticipating this, puts the ball out ahead of Kittle. It's going to end up right there, and Kittle just sticks his left hand out and makes a one-handed catch. The defenders all collide into each other, and he's off to the races for 71 yards. One of the great plays by a tight end that you'll ever see. Let's take a look from this angle. Play starts. He looks to the right, realizes something's wrong. That window is so tight, but he fits it in there to him, and just Kittle with just a spectacular catch. Just unbelievable. Now the 49ers are in a position to go up 24-3 if they can score a touchdown here. They start off with what looks like a running play. Pretty simple, right? Running back just runs right to the hole. The Raiders react as if that's going to happen too. Kittle allows his man to beat him to the inside, and then he's just going to turn around and run out to the flat and catch a pass. And the action of Garcon and Bourne, along with the running fake, is going to occupy these defenders in the middle of the field. It ends up being an easy pitch and catch for Mullens and George Kittle. But the 49ers weren't done yet. On their next drive, they call a pretty interesting play designed to get Kittle the football again. They send their wide receiver up top deep. This will occupy the corner and the safety. Then they fake a handoff, which the other 9 players on the Raiders all bite on the fake. This allows Kittle to run across the formation and come wide open for an easy first down. Just a little throw like that, and it's a 17-yard gain. Great play design by Kyle Shanahan. Okay, we are going to take a look at a running play here because, well, I just can't help myself. So, this is a very interestingly designed play. Richie James is going to fake the jet sweep across the formation like this. Now, when he does that, the inside linebacker is going to take a step in that direction. I think that helps him just be that much closer for the center, Weston Richburg, to make a block on him. The guard, as well as Garrett Selleck, will block the 2 down linemen, and Kyle Juszczyk will block the outside linebacker. This means Mike McGlinchey isn't blocking anybody. The tackle is going to pull all the way out and block this poor defensive back way down the field. And then Mostert will follow behind him. I'll show you this in slow motion so you can see all this action I'm talking about. Notice the center snaps the ball and then runs to make a block on the linebacker. Selleck gets away with a little bit of a hold there. McGlinchey is coming around the end. Mostert is behind him. And the play is executed to perfection. He's off to the races. 60-yard touchdown or thereabouts. Here's another angle on it. You can see how quickly these linemen have to get in position to make their blocks. Now look at McGlinchey running down. He looks like a monster compared to that guy. Jesus. Mostert just follows him all the way in for an easy score. It's 31-3 at this point. The game is over. Nick Mullens has had a spectacular debut. 3 touchdown passes. It could have been 4 had Richie James not dropped another one. Just stellar play from Nick Mullens. Did he do anything spectacular? Well, there was the tight window throw to George Kittle where he made the one-handed catch. Outside of that, he just executed the offense, which was really refreshing for 49er fans to see. You can credit Kyle Shanahan if you want. You can credit Nick Mullens if you want. It'll be interesting to see how he performs the following week, but there wasn't really a whole lot I could look at where I said he didn't do his job. and that's a great start for a young quarterback.